I did go live, didn't I? Well, I'm live. All right, there we go. All right, so we're just still waiting to see if any of the panelists show up. I did send out the links earlier, so hopefully some people will come in. But anyway, I hope everybody's had a good weekend here. We're of course we're just gonna wait a few minutes, give people a chance to come in here. Let me see if let's see if anybody's even online per se. Hmm. Yeah, all right. All right. So, anyways, yeah. So basically, we're just waiting to see who might show up. I don't know. I did send the invites out earlier. Maybe a little later than I usually do. So I don't know if they all got. I do know Tim got one. So don't know if he's just busy right now or. But we're gonna just give it a few minutes, give people a chance to show up before we get started here. See what all happens. See. Let's see now. As always, guys, if you haven't done so already, guys, like and share the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions. I'll try to answer your questions the best of my ability. So, as I said, just waiting to see if people show up. Hong Kong Fooey, number one super guy. Hong Kong Fooey, freaking the human eye. Chicky chong, chicky chong, wong wong. Hong Kong Fooey, you're terrific. Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, friendly. The story. Hey, Apex. Yeah, Kung Fu. Hong Kong Fooey was actually the name of the cartoon. Are you working right now? I think I might have sent you the link if you're free. If you want to pop in the studio here, if you're free. If you're working, then I understand. But okay, yeah, bummer. But anyways, well, I hope you're still able to get the 26th off, so you can come on and at least be on with me for the historical comic retrospect. Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. All right, then I guess I'll see you then at the very least, if not before. Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through, yep, well, the gummy bears, not Kung Fu gummy bears, just the gummy bears. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo. You've been waiting, I've been waiting. DuckTales, woo. And in the danger out to find you. What you know to grab onto some DuckTales, woo. They know kung fu. How do you think they learn to bounce? Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I guess some of the bouncing attacks, yeah, I guess. Well, you got to remember their bouncing ability comes from the drinking of gummy berry juice. That's how they get their bouncing ability. Uh, get along, gang, get along, gang. Each one is there. We go. There's Tim. As soon as I can get the.
Was
Hey,
I was scheduled today, right?
well, yeah, I was hoping you'd come in. I mean, for the Sunday show, it's not as much scheduled. It's just more like it's just
Right.
a place to come, hang out, talk about whatever topics we choose to go over.
Yeah, I got kind of caught up in trying to promote abroad. I I got what was it last night? I got one of the customers was from Japan, and so I'm trying to promote and get more people in Japan and whatnot to
Yeah.
get a copy of Melvin 1 or 2.
Huh. Well, yeah,
Apparently, there's different
I know you've been doing the
Amazons.
talk show circuit because I heard you were on Apex After Dark last night too.
Yeah, I was.
In fact,
Um,
Apex is in the chat right now.
oh, is he? Yo,
Yeah,
Apex.
yeah. While I was waiting for you or at least anybody to show up, I was like singing, classic cartoon themes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You probably heard me, right?
I called myself the Shillinator, because like a Terminator, as all he does is he's hell bent on getting John Carter. I'm hell bent on selling books.
Hail Timothy Olsen, shill your book.
I will. Melvin 1 and 2 special editions available on Walmart, Amazon, and Barnes and Noble. Heck, I just learned that there's a yes the Shillinator. That's what he does. That's all he does. Um, so so I found out there's like an Amazon Japan, there's an Amazon UK. So I've been like looking those up and trying to get like people from Canada or the UK or Japan or something.
You're just trying to become a worldwide enterprise there, huh? There.
That's right. Chapter 2 is about world domination.
Ha 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 ha. He'll be back.
Maybe I'll totally dominate the foreign markets before I come back to the States.
Yeah. Well, before we get too much into the conversation, if you feel like you want to share any links, so people can find your stuff, go for it.
I might do that throughout the show. There's just so many links. I don't have like when you ask that, they usually have one link. I have like maybe 3 or 4 or several. So
come with me if you want to live.
is your name John Carter? Or is it Sarah Connor? I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a long day of just like sending links out for people to hopefully get my book.
And let me guess, you were so tired you were about to fall asleep, weren't you?
Well, I did take a nap in midday. I mean, like I said, since last night, just
Yeah.
promoting the hell out of the book.
Yeah, I know. I had a case where I should have maybe taken a nap a little while ago because I was even mentally having, some issues just focusing just before the show get. I had to, kind of, you know, um, kind of like doing a whole
Yeah,
bunch of stuff like getting the show set up.
yeah. I even have I mean the other co-founder of Velvet Comics who hasn't done anything yet because he's trying to get out of the Philippines into the States. He's been acting as kind of like our presence in the Philippines, and I'll have to check back with him and see if he's gotten any stores interested. They do have comic shops in the Philippines, yes.
Yeah. Well, you have contacts in the. Well, I know. Granted, we're not going to get too much into anything too personal here, but I know your girlfriend's from the Philippines, right?
Yes, yes, she is.
Is she and the guy you're who's part of
No,
your?
she would be too busy doing her college work, and I think she's doing like some kind of internship
Uh,
as part of her midterm or something, some kind of on the job training for
oh, so they don't even know each other then.
No, they don't.
Okay. I didn't know that you had two contacts in the Philippines, so
Well, you know how many islands make up that country? Like lots. So yeah.
yeah, links are their Shilinator's weapons, according to Apex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, why don't we do this a little bit since you're here? But why don't we start off with why don't you tell us a little? Let's see. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Melvin? Why don't you tell the
Melvin, tell the people who want to know. All
yeah?
right. All right, you filthy degenerates, listen up. No, kidding. Um, Melvin is a mercenary in a far off future where the Earth doesn't exist. It's like it's within the same galaxy, but Earth no longer exists.
Hmm.
He is hired to save a princess from a dangerous cult that literally destroys everything it touches. It literally brings down entire societies by trying to make them bend to their will. Sound familiar?
Oh,
Um,
post-apocalyptic stuff. It sounds like.
mm, More like it leans more towards sci-fi fantasy, but yes, it could be post-apocalyptic. But the idea is Earth no longer has been wiped from existence.
So there's no planet Earth. The
No,
planet is completely blown up out of.
no, it doesn't. It's not. That's not blown up. No, it just was taken out of existence. It's kind of like my own thought about like when
Oh, it
God
was like
when
okay.
God creates a new Earth, right? Basically, the end of the world is the end of time, right?
Oh, okay.
So if what does that mean for the rest of the universe? Because it doesn't talk about the rest of the universe. It just talks about Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me means that God just wiped the everyone's memory of Earth's existence. Of there is other civilizations in the universe, right?
Okay. That
And so there's just like the spot where our planet used to be that is no longer there, and no one. So there's
it's as if the Earth had never existed at all, basically.
right, right.
Oh, all right. Now I
And
get it.
so if there's like stuff from that planet floating around in space, now no one knows where that's from.
Hmm.
so, so Melvin was hired to save Alice from this dangerous cult that had kidnapped her. And they worship the deity Azarka, and they have to make everyone bow to their will. And so Melvin in issue one, finds out she saved herself, and she actually ends up saving him. Issue two, it's them trying to get back to her father, for him trying to deliver
So
her back to her
just
father.
so we're clear, Melvin is a girl in this case.
No.
No.
Oh no. Let's back up. Melvin is a mercenary. He is a mercenary hired to save a princess from a dangerous cult.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my god.
I'm sorry about that. My mind's in a bit of a fog right now. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
Alice
sorry.
is a princess who was kidnapped by this cult, and they were going to sacrifice her. He ends up going to try to save her. He ends up fighting his way. When he gets there, she had already gotten herself free and ends up saving him. That's pretty much issue one right there.
Okay.
Issue two is them trying to get back to her father's so Melvin can here he is, and where's my pay?
Mm-hmm.
They end up crashing near a town that had been ravaged by the cult. And so to get the parts they need, they have to save the town from the cult. I'm sorry. It's like, wait a minute. Where did I go wrong with that? I am a little rusty doing my elevator pitch sometimes.
Well, yeah, and this is the first time I've decided to let you.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've actually asked you to give an elevator pitch. Usually, I just have you share links, but I figured at some point I may start. Every now and again, when we, particularly on the Sunday shows, if we get people like yourself, people like Rex,
right,
talking here,
I take it you have never done a promotion stream for anybody.
What was that?
I take it you've never done a promotion stream for anybody.
Not really. I mean, I've had some ideas on how I might do it if I were to start doing it. I hadn't even thought about the idea until recently, and as a way to maybe try to, entice like Doc and Rex to come on more because, but
yeah. Fedbet's coming soon from Apex. He's going to do a full length book.
Yeah.
So
now, hey, Shadowhawk's here.
Now issue 3. Yeah, so they save the town from the cult in issue 2, and they get the parts they need. Issue 3 is pretty much, I say a good chunk of the book is pretty much one big chase scene, because the Bison, the cult leader, wants Alice all for himself, so he sent out bounty hunters to track them.
Alex, is that the princess?
Alice, yes. Oh. Yes, I'm gonna spell it out for you, Alice.
Let me interrupt you one more time here, real quick, because I know Shadowhawk here. Shadowhawk, I know I sent you the link. If you want to join us in the studio, you're more than welcome to. If you want to join in on the conversation stuff, not Alex. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it just go to show you my head's in a bit of a cloudy moment right now. Tim, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm trying to pay as much attention as I can. though. I'm trying to.
It's all good.
I just wanted to extend that invitation to Shadowhawk.
Yes. Maybe yes. So there's a big chase scene. We find out that Melvin can regenerate because he got his head blown off in that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they couldn't quite catch up to him, so they shot their ship with a tracking device. So now there's a tracking device on their ship, and throughout the whole thing, you have Melvin's head like regenerating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of like a Wolverine thing.
That must be some sight to see.
Oh, it's actually the grossest, most awesome scene ever. So the rest of the story of issue 3 is just character developing and setting up for 4, because there's Melvin feels bad about how he acted because he basically was just there to get his pay, and she's trying to convince him to stay and help fight because the cult's on its way. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they found the tracking device. So Diana, Alice's best friend, decides to confront her about it. So there's that. Melvin felt bad, is on his way to apologize. And, of course, he gets lucky. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, she decides, since he shared his background with her, she's going to show him something. So she shows him a passageway to, like, a secret passageway to the armory where she... because she's decided that she's going to stay and she's going to help fight, and she convinces Melvin to stay and fight. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much 3 in a nutshell.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we'll be a double-sized issue though, so it's going to be a.
Yeah, the closest to a promotion stream I've done are when I've gone over the indie comic showcase. That's about the closest thing I've done in terms of a promotion stream.
Yeah.
Right? So
the funny thing is too, I'm not doing a campaign. I'm literally just straight selling it to it's in the actual market. I mean, these books have an actual barcode on them now.
Oh wow, that's interesting. As compared to how other people are doing it and stuff like that, sounds a little bit unique because I don't know of any of the other like indie creators, commentate people who are doing that. They're usually
Well,
doing it through like through one of the
yes, and
crowdfunding sites.
that's fine. I mean, if if the crowdfunding is successful for you, and that's how you want to do it, cool. I'm not against that, but it seems like people have forgotten there are other ways of promoting your book and getting your book out there. You don't have to crowdfund everything.
Yeah.
You know, but everyone leans
Actually,
on it.
and I know that because when I've covered the indie comic showcase a few times, there actually have been one or two um, people gone on there who actually are doing kind of similar to what you're doing, kind of more like self promoting or self publishing,
Well, yeah,
where it's a little more
I'm going through RJ, who's a
approach.
distributor. Yeah, a Critical Blast.
Yeah.
And that actually makes a difference because all I got to do is promote the book and work and write them and have my artist do the artwork and then have it formatted and sent to you know have them either them format it have somebody format it and then you know they turn it.
So then, why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us if you can? I don't know if there's any
Yeah.
like privacy issues or what have you over this, but
Uh-huh.
if you wish to or if you can, who's on your creative team?
Oh,
I'm
I don't know
guessing.
why that'd be an issue. Well, for the books would be Sid Telis doing the artwork. Melvin Melvin 3 was inked by Rick Piper, and I'm sure I'll have him do that again.
Mhm.
Um, and then I've had Rob do some things here and there.
Rob
Ewing,
Ewing. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna think of Liefeld, think again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I've had let's see, the cover for Melvin 4 was colored by Carol.
Yeah.
If you know who Carol is,
Carol.
Carol Colors,
Okay. Yeah.
Carol. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. She's been
Um,
on. You know, again, I may not necessarily pick up right away, and there might be people who watch this either now or later who may not know who you're talking about. So if you can use full names, that would probably help too.
yes, I don't think you're since you're not on Twitter. I think you've missed. There's a lot of information that you don't know.
What was that?
I said since you're not on Twitter, I think there's a lot of information you probably don't know.
Oh, in terms of certain
Who's who or
English manners or something like that, or
yeah, because I mean most people. I mean Facebook is kind of like an afterthought these days. I think most people are on Twitter.
yeah.
Yeah, but
But
you know
there's a lot of backbiting, is what you're saying, right? Where you're going.
well there can be. I'm just saying that like I could say Carol, but you don't know who Carol Colors is. You probably heard of her.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I've heard of Carol Colors because I know she's been on she's been in Wreckage Chat quite a bit.
yeah,
So
yeah. Um, who else? Well, I mean, I'm getting Melvin. I mean, Zen Odysseus #1 from the printers any day now.
well, and as I understand it, and we don't have to go into the details on this, but I know you did. I guess you did have to switch your artist due to certain circumstances.
Oh, you mean the reason why the special editions came about? I mean, it was
Or
really originally it was going to be the printing them as they were, but then that news about Vic King came up. So I mean, I don't really give a crap. I'll talk about anything. Vic King came up, so we had to replace his artwork right away.
hmm. Yeah. So you replaced Vic King with Rob Ewing, as I understand it.
Yes, yeah. Melvin 1 was an easy fix though. We just had to just go with the maybe the Dillard cover, and then like the credit page is just a solid blue page with words
Yeah,
on
you
it.
got John Diller to do some covers for you as
No,
well.
well that cover was in existence. We just didn't. I'm just never going to reprint the original cover.
Oh, okay.
And then the only file I could find was the. Yeah, it is gonna be fun. I mean, if you like droids with an Adult Swim kind of spin to it,
Hmm.
You know, honestly, if they did like if they upgraded the humor to more adult humor on the Droids cartoon, it would be pretty much an Adult Swim cartoon.
Hmm. Okay, well, with that being said, here's I guess the next question for you, and you might notice the questions I choose to ask are a lot of them are based on the same type of questions that Chris Braley asked on his when he
Who's
does
that?
his indie comic. Chris Braley's the guy who does the indie comic showcase. He's the guy
Okay.
that interviews
Oh, okay.
when we've gone over his articles before.
Right, right, right.
So um so with the, so who for Melvin, who would you say your target audience is for Melvin?
I would say probably teenagers to probably people in their 30s or 40s.
Say like teenagers and up, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, like you can.
Obviously not a kiddie story, right?
No, it's not going to be for a 5-year-old. I mean, I would look at a parent strange if they gave their kid that Melvin book.
Yeah.
But I gave it to a coworker, and she, of course, she's a single parent, and she had the book in her room, and her son stole it and hid it in his room, and he's not a teenager. So,
Oh,
so there are those kids that are kind of little badasses.
precocious.
Yes. So
Let's see.
I didn't tell that kid to pick up the book. He stole it from his mom.
Hmm. And if I heard correctly, earlier you said that I guess this is Melvin going to just be a 5 issue run, or are you going to be
Oh, it's like that's
going
continuous one.
beyond that?
I'm gonna make it a household name. See, that's
Oh,
the
so you want to make it like a full-on ongoing series
yeah.
until you just run out of ideas of stuff to write about it.
Oh, I might like do something where like I'll do a bunch here and then I'll take a break and do something another book and then I'll come back and do more. I'll do it in cycles or something.
And your company name is Velvet Comics. Is that
Velvet Comics, yes, that was come up. Gabriel came up with that, and I just kind of ran with it. Like, cool, just
yeah?
I'll run with that. Um, yeah, so I'm already working on the script for Melvin 5.
Hmm. All right, so you're obviously the writer of the story, then obviously.
I'm the creator. I'm the writer. I also do the storyboards. I'm the brains of the operation.
Right. All right. Would you like to share any give people maybe a sneak peek of what to expect? If you would you like
On
to do
what?
that?
Well,
If
I mean,
you
you should be more specific.
Well, I don't. Well, since I haven't seen too much of the book or anything like that. I mean, what I'm talking about is I know a lot of times people will usually like share panels from the book or
All right, let's see. Let's.
artwork or you've seen it the last couple of weeks when we've done the indie comic showcase. I know other people when they've brought people on, they'll usually will share portions of the book, not the whole book, obviously, but
Oh
they'll
yeah,
share portion of the portions of the book, to
yeah.
give people kind of an idea of what they can look forward to.
Yes, I can. I'll show you the.
And you can just share screen it, and I'll of course.
I will. I will. Just let me get them up here, and then I'll just go through them one by one. Some of them will be the bonus book, which is free with proof of purchase plus a mailing address, so I can send it somewhere. Since again, this is not a crowdfunded book, so if I'm doing something like that, I'll need to know where to mail it.
And Elk is here. Hey, Elk. Elk says, "Hail
Elk.
to you. What's tonight's topic?" Well, we're actually just doing a bit of we kind of just I decided to go with kind of a spontaneous panel
Elk, you're
discussion.
Canadian, right? I'll wait for him to answer. Hold on, let me. I got something for Elk actually. If he's Canadian, I know he's like from Alberta or something.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see. There we go.
And he's saying yes. I think he's saying yes to that he's Canadian.
Yeah. Well, I found that it is actually on the Canadian Amazon site. Let's see.
And to finish what I was just saying a moment ago, we just decided to do a spontaneous campaign promotion
Yes.
stream.
Okay, so that's for him. I can show. I mean, if hold on. All right, hold on, and dang it.
I see you are sharing something. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
This is one of the replacement pages for Melvin 2.
Okay. One of the replacement pages from basically what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And yeah, the thing is, the reason why I'm doing Melvin 1 and 2 and only that for a while is because I'm not done sending out the books for the Melvin 3 campaign, and Melvin 2 and Melvin 1 have been through several campaigns so far. So I don't mind putting those up for sale first, and then as soon as I'm done with the Melvin 3 campaign, then I'll be putting up Melvin 3 and Melvin 0.
Yeah. There's let's see. Well, Elk has a question for you here. You might want to read it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Read it to me because I don't like I said, I'm showing up.
Thanks for the links. Is there a Kindle version?
A Kindle version. I don't think so. I'll have to check with RJ on that one.
All right. Apex saying, "Damn it, Timothy is onto something. We should promote in the Philippines."
Well, I mean, like, promote all over the world, dude.
Yeah, and then Apex is also saying, "Yep, Shadowhawk talks." And of course, Apex promoting his channel. You guys want to go check that out? There's a link in the chat.
This is a page for the Zed and Odysseus comic.
All right. Yeah, and Tim, you may notice I have your shared screen full up there, so
okay.
So everybody can see full on. After all, they don't necessarily always have to see my.
That's there's Robo Rick questioning his existence.
Robo Rick?
Yep.
Did you actually put Rick Piper into the comic?
No, it's not. It's just called Robo Rick. We were joking about it that one day, and
oh, actually, I can't be too sure, but isn't there a character called Robo Rick on Rick and Morty?
I have no idea. I don't watch Rick and Morty.
I really don't. I kind of watch the end of it only because I'm usually waiting for the Toonami to start up at that point.
I guarantee you, my Robo Rick is probably different than theirs. So,
yeah,
this is another replacement page for. You can definitely tell the John Carter of the Edgar Rice Burroughs influence on it. I was watching the movie again, and I realized, wow, I really got influenced by that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, you're doing more of the black and white, stuff. Yeah. So how are things overall going for you with that?
It's going as much as I thought it would go. For some people, they have like 2 months. No Apex, no Lady Melvin. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just that anyway.
And then I guess Elk is dropping the link to his channel.
He has a channel.
Well, technically, we all technically we all do if we're on if we're on. It's just that we're all technically because if you can even if you can watch, even if you can comment, you technically have a channel, a YouTube page or channel. It's just that for the most part, some people don't obviously produce anything, right? Don't publish any videos. So um,
I see. I
you
see.
know, I'm just sharing something real quick here, just because there's kind of a something I needed to do here to kind of fix something here. There we go.
All right.
Because you blinked out so fast, I didn't get a chance to minimize it again. So
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah. So, Melvin Four should be a double-sized book because I wanted to do a 5-page story arc, but I mean a 5 issue story arc, but it's going to be 4. Um, I think it's because somebody said to be concluded in Melvin Four, so I was like, oh well, now I need to conclude it. And hey, Metal, what's up?
Oh, I just got finished cooking dinner, so this is the earliest I could hop on.
Hey, what's up?
well, thanks for hopping on, my friend. Sorry about last night. I did kind of forget about it. For me, it's almost like habit. I just send the link out, and people can show up fine. If not, but I do appreciate you coming on. Um, so yeah, we were doing kind of an impromptu promotion stream here for Tim's book, but let me at least get through these chats real quick.
Yeah.
I
So,
had
Metal, have you seen the
Well,
links
you can
to?
ask me afterwards. He did say he wanted to get through the chats like literally right now.
Oh, my bad.
yeah, no problem. I had to start. I had to start at one. I went to make on prayer channel, then the time of the early church in Antioch before Peter and James even went to Rome, or a comic review channel. Okay. Let's see. Elk also said one or the other. As we continue on, Antioch was the first city which the term Christians was used in. All right. Sub to Elk of Antioch from Apex, promoting. Shadowhawk, hey Elk, that is the YouTube studio link. I was looking for the channel link to make sure I'm subbed. Yeah. Yeah. So, um, thanks, Elk. There is an Antioch, Tennessee, which is true. Um, how's your water clean up going, Metal? Metal, this is a
My
question for.
water cleanup. I'm gonna think what that means.
Did you have a water cleanup?
Any more context?
Oh,
Got it. Thanks. Sub to Elk now. Shadowhawk, and then you're welcome. I'm getting better at links. Shadowhawk, yeah. Um. Well, there wasn't um there wasn't like any kind of storms or recently.
I mean, it's been storming a lot, but I'm also in high elevation, so everything just runs off hill anyway.
Okay. Oh, I'm mistaking you for someone else. I thought your house was flooded a month. Oh no, you're thinking of John Dillard. That was Dillard.
Yeah, yeah, Dillard was flooded. Good friend of mine, but that wasn't me.
Yeah. Hey, we're CG. We have to shill to live. we
well,
got a good house here. So anyway,
yeah,
Metal, as you came in, and we kind of did a impromptu campaign promotion, uh,
yes.
focusing on Timothy Olson's Melvin. So that kind of covers his intro. So you're here now. So why don't we give you a chance to give at least an intro of if you want to promote your channel, promote any work you're doing, promote any links. The usual shtick, right?
Yes, I just have to pull some links up because I don't have that stuff ready. Given that right now I am the metal eater of pancakes. That is what I am.
The
Eater
metal
pan.
eater pancake sounds interesting.
What, waffles too good for you?
Too complicated to make fast. We have a waffle maker. I didn't want to whip that whole thing out.
The crowdfunding is
No, but
live.
I am a creator of a network of stories called X Dynamis Chaos that you can find at my website, xdynamischaos.com. I've been recently re-uploading the web novel version of the main story, chapter by chapter, because people have told me that having it all on one page makes it pretty difficult for them to read. So like, okay, I'm just going to take that down and I'll re-upload it chapter by chapter. But I make web novels, web comics. I'm actually working on a premium comic, digital first, but I do plan on having a print run of it with someone else. And I also run a channel called The Vomitorium, where we have 2 weekly shows. One called Super Serial Showtime, where we talk about movies, TV, anime, comics, and the like. And the other is Game Central Junction, where we talk about video games, tabletop games, trading card games, toys, collectibles, and anything in that realm.
All right, here's the okay. So there's the link to the his comic. Um, head nam, um, head namia. Okay, I think I'll just let you pronounce it. Metal
The comic is X Dynamis Chaos. It's
X Dynamis Chaos.
Latin for of bountiful chaos.
All right.
There you go.
And then here's his YouTube link. So now we covered those 2 links. Let's look at what some. So Elk was saying, I used to have a Darth Vader waffle maker. I love them, but I bought 2 versions of the thing, and both died in about a year. That sucks, I guess.
X.
Apex, you're right. Shadowhawk talks. At first, I thought Dillard was a bit of a bleep. Once you get to
You can
know
say
him, what was that?
I mean, the term that he used is already kind of censored.
yeah, I know. You can say a hole. It's a
But
very PG-13 version of the word.
YouTube won't flag you for that one. It's only if you actually add the S's in.
Will they flag you for saying ass? I mean,
Yeah, sometimes. Usually only in the first 45 seconds of the video or stream, though.
oh,
well, unless you're probably using it in a more correct, like referring to a donkey, I guess.
The bots aren't that smart. They just know to pick up certain words. They're getting better, though.
Hail at metal. And then X Twitter is the easiest place to post links to your stream.
I think it's getting kind of weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny that we're talking about the A word there, because it does kind of remind me of a Popeye cartoon, Balmy Swami, right? It's one where Bluto is a hypnotist, and at one point Popeye goes, "You won't make a jackass out of me," and then you see Bluto with the you want to bet, and then you see Pop. And I remember when I was reading some of the notations on it from IMDb, they're talking about how it was just this side of censorship. The only reason that the Hollywood, the Hays Code, didn't bust them for it, because they did make it seem like he was being turned into a donkey, rather than it being a swear word. So,
well, and that word almost doesn't get picked up anymore unless you're trying specifically to hit like G or Y audiences, depending whether you're movie or TV. And part of that is because of the TV show starring Steve O and his whole crew, right?
Oh yeah, the kind of guys who go around
the same
doing
name
reckless
has
pranks.
kind of desensitized that word.
Yeah, I mean, for the biggest example of a watered down swear word would be "damn." I mean, that was a bigger deal, like maybe in the 40s, maybe the 30s.
Yeah, it's like replacing a cover illustrated by Hitler. um, my co-pilot Al is okay. According to
AI.
my co-pilot AI, according to Elk here, is ridiculous. Um, I asked it to make a picture of Horatio Nelson in his uniform, and it violated its terms of service. The hero, the Battle of Trafalgar, and he's a service violation. Let's see, Melvin the children's version. uh, and I tried to get
Oh,
co-pilot.
I mean, the answer to that. I mean, if they can do that with Ninja Turtles, I'm sure they could do. They could water down that Melvin
Yeah.
and make it acceptable for kids.
And I tried to get co-pilot to change the Imperial German flag from the Republican gold and black to the Imperial flag of three stripes of black, white, red. So yeah, so
Typically, what I do if I see somebody ask a question in chat or mention something and I don't feel like saying a word that they use, I just brain wise I church it up, like I replace it. So instead of saying, I don't know, if you're not okay with a hole, I would have just said be a bit of a jerk. Like I would have just replaced it with a friendlier word anyway.
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean I've done that too before. I've just because here's the thing too. It's funny because, and I've talked about this before. There are people out there. Seems like they can't get their message across unless they're swearing, right? It's like either every other word or two out of every three words is a swear word with them, and it's
Eh,
like
different strokes for
you
different
just
folks.
imagine if the censor button was an actual thing, right? And like you're talking to somebody, and every time they every time they use a swear word, it's like, yeah, that bleep. She just so bleep, and she's so bleep bleep bleep, and I'm gonna bleep her and bleep this, bleep that. Can you just imagine
Yeah,
how funny that would
but
be?
uh, a good thing to consider too, right? Since most of populations are in cities, this statistic is going to be swayed by city temperamentality. People who swear more often than people who try to church up their language are often seen as more trustworthy. Like they're not trying to lie to you or code up their language. If you live in the city, that's actually kind of true. Anybody who tries to church up their language in a denser population
Mhm.
typically is somebody who's trying to either avoid telling you how they actually feel or maybe are straight up lying to you. Which the further you get away from that type of culture, the less that makes sense.
Mhm.
But that's just
Wouldn't
how
it
it is.
be? Sorry, I was gonna say, wouldn't it be like people in the city view those people as kind of suspicious anyway if they're being extra nice? Like, what is the deal with this
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, because it's somebody who's beating around the bush. It's people who are playing the politics game, but not necessarily like how we view politics, but like where the word polite comes from is also the politique. People who are just trying to rise up the social ladder by being more polite.
Uh,
I didn't, Metal. I did know you changed your avatar there, didn't you?
Yeah, a while back.
yeah,
I guess I just noticed. But
yeah. I've been on a wild streak this month. First 4 days of April, like 12 books were sold,
hmm.
Nice.
and then like I just yes, first time I ever hit Japan was last night. Somebody bought Melvin 1 and 2, and they were CG Japan. So I found out there's actually a Amazon Japan, there's Amazon UK,
Yeah, there's an Amazon everything.
yeah, Amazon.
You just have to change
So
the URL. So like Japan is like amazon.co.jp or whatever. Or
yeah,
I might have it backwards, but it's one of the combination of those two.
yeah. I mean, I didn't even try, and I mean, there's like probably what 3 copies of Melvin in Germany.
Hmm.
So, but I mean, like most of them so far, I've been in the States, but I'm kind of hitting other places too. So.
Rick has joined us. He's going to join us, I guess, as soon as his sister. Hey, Rick.
Hey, what up, Rick? I was just asking him about other possible Canadians to send the Amazon link to.
I'm here.
Yep.
Show us your ad.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna send I'm not gonna send the link to George.
You know, it started at 6.
Somebody talking to you there, Rick?
No, I think he's glitching up.
No?
I was gonna say I'm not gonna send
stuff from outside.
I'm not gonna send the link to George because George works with RJ, and those are the guys that put my book out. So he's like, oh, but if he wanted the book, he just
Rick, it did start at 6 in your old time zone.
No, it started at 5 in our time
Right,
zone.
or no,
Pardon?
it was an hour higher in his old time zone. Yeah, it's 5 in his time zone now. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Canadian time doesn't apply here.
was 8 by other time zone, but
You had
normally
to
I'm
pass
here
through the
on
time zone
time.
where it
It's
would have been
just,
6.
I don't know. Most of his shows start at 6, so
Yeah. And, Rick and Tim have been
yeah,
coming
that was
on
a
during
month
the
ago,
week as
2.5
well.
months
I've had
ago.
them on as co-host to do the Neats newscast in an attempt to get more people to come in to check out the show. So having somebody
Yeah.
so. Anyways, I know, and granted, we're not unless anybody wants to talk about it. There was one big news story we kind of went over this past week.
Which one was that? Because so much happens in a week, I forget what.
Well, I'm talking about the Ed Piscor stories. What I was the one that we had quite a nice little discussion and debate about on a number of things. So, but not that I just But aside from that, there were a few other things like the Indie Comic Showcase and stuff, and of course now we just did a promo, bit of a promo session for Tim there. Okay, Rick, you're here now. So did you since you just got here, did you want to do an intro? Maybe talk about anything you're doing,
Cool.
any share any links or anything like that?
Not in the moment. I haven't been doing much this past week. Probably I'm gonna have to move from where I am. I think by the 15th, and I'm probably at this point it looks like going back to Ontario. I'm not sure where yet.
Couldn't find a job there.
And did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have been freezing up though.
A job here yet, and just
Yeah. So.
let's see what.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So, anyways,
I'm still waiting for Plan D, which is where
What's Plan D?
After Rick runs out of other options, Dillard goes up there and kidnaps him and brings him to America.
Him and 6 other guys just kind of jump out of a van and drag him in there.
Oh, minutes. I'm trying to get something shut down here. So hold on.
He wakes up in a shed somewhere in California.
Oh yeah.
Because John would.
Well, Rick's been to California before. He came down for a convention a few months back. I was there.
He becomes his
He's been to
Canadian
California several
manservant.
times.
Sorry. Yeah, he's done like 2
Okay, I didn't
conventions. Now.
quite hear that.
Oh, we're just talking about you behind your back, or I guess in front of your face, but you can't hear it because of the freezing up.
Oh yeah, we were saying that John was going to kidnap you and make you his Canadian manservant. Start calling you Jeeves. Oh, looks like you already kidnapped him. His screen went blank.
Yeah.
He's probably having connection issues.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been having connection issues since he's been out there. Pretty
So,
much.
so does your website kind of show where all your strongest concentration of your fan base is from metal?
Rephrase that.
Like is most of the people buying your books usually in the States, or you getting some from other places?
Oh,
See, I
not a
always
lot
find
of
that.
people buy the books, but most of my books are physical reprints of the webcomic they can read. Most of my sales are merch. But yes, of merchandise sales, it is pretty much all the States.
So you're pretty much your strongest fan base would be in the States then.
Yeah.
And I,
Though there were definitely people in the three other places. I'm popular-ish in Ireland, which doesn't surprise me. Japan, not too
Really,
big, but it's there. And India. India is actually probably the one where I get the most other views.
really.
Yeah.
Did that shock you?
No, I think it's because of a lot of the times of how I uploaded. It was when I was uploading the shorts, the dub of the comic was often at the time that like people in India would be awake, and I think that's how they found my comic originally.
Oh, that's actually kind of interesting.
cool. Okay, so what was Plan D again? I didn't quite hear it.
Oh,
Plan D is when you run out of other options, Dillard goes up to Canada and kidnaps you and forces you to be an American citizen in California.
and I added the part about him making you his Canadian manservant named Jeeves.
So D stands for Dillard, eh?
Mm-hmm.
He'll do everything like make you clean up his workspace, sharpen all his pencils, make sure all his computer technology is working fine so he can draw.
Assholes.
Yeah, it's funny how we are
No,
talking about
I don't think Dillard
funny
uses
how we are
Dillard
talking
does use
about John
pencils.
about Dillard right now because of
It
course
doesn't really work.
Elk actually confused Dillard with Metal earlier.
Racist.
You know what's really weird? That's not strange that for some reason Rick can testify to this back on his show, even though I don't think Dillard and my voice sound even remotely close to each other. But there were people that were constantly like not regulars to the show, couldn't tell the difference between me and Dillard.
There's only one way.
Pastry was one of them too, right?
Yeah. There's only one. When Dillard actually starts joking around, and he's actually smiling while he's talking, he almost kind of sounds like you. But when he has a very dry sense of humor and kind of a really dry voice, it sounds more like a radio voice.
Yeah,
If that makes sense
I
to
could
you.
definitely never. Well, I've always been able to tell the difference between your voices.
Because you've heard them a lot.
I know I've got. Yeah, I think Camp Dillard and Manny, I might have got confused at first, or somebody else. I'm not
There
sure.
were a few different people.
And it's not like their voices sounded like. Go ahead, Tim.
No, they're most. I don't see. For the most part, I don't see how people because like the inflection in both their voices are very different.
Yeah, because even when our tones are closer,
Yeah.
we don't talk remotely the same as each other.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's so much the sound of your voice or anything like that. It's just when you're just getting to know somebody, especially online like this, you only hear it a few times. So you think it's one person, but it's another, some people aren't paying enough attention, or whatever. I think there's probably a few variables in it why they don't.
Oh,
You
no,
know,
familiarity
like-
is definitely the
Yeah.
biggest variable.
Well, this past Friday, of course, I had RJ on, as my coach for the historical. We were going over a couple books from Harvey, what would eventually become Harvey Comics, Speed Comics Volume 1, Issue 7, and Champion Cons Volume 1, Issue 6. And I know Tim was on during much of that show. If you guys want to hear RJ narrating in the form of a, because when we're reading the Shock Gibson story, Shock Gibson was out west, so RJ, in terms of kind of mixing things up a little bit, he would narrate kind of like that of a balladeer. In other words, instead of just saying the narration, he would be singing it, like a balladeer would. So that was kind of interesting. Of course, and we introduced people to a couple of new characters, a couple of new features as well. Lobo the Flying Sleuth and Dan O'Dowd of the Foreign Legion, the Human Meteor. So some interesting stuff there overall. So.
And I'm going to say hello to Apex and Elk if they're still out there listening.
Actually, Tim, I have you on for the historical comic retrospective over the next couple weeks here, the 12th and the 19th.
Yep, you do.
So, yeah, and then of course, and if you be back on Tuesday and Thursday as well here, and Rick Monday and Wednesday during the Niche Newscast. Elk saying I'm listening.
Yeah, I see.
Yes, my schedule has been made pretty much wide open.
Yeah.
Except for the 14th, I'm doing an interview, a promotion thing on what's his name? Hold on. This is the way I write
Elk
things
would like
down.
to know whether he could do a Friday reading.
I don't know. Dave Brink's
sorry, Tim.
YouTube show on the 14th. And I believe I'm doing the Mighty Mascots. What's the guy who does Mighty Mascots? I'm doing his show in June on the 17th.
Cool. Awesome.
Yes, very cool. I'm sorry, you were saying. I'm sorry.
No,
well,
I was just
I just saw that Elk saying he wants to come in and co-host. Elk, you do understand that when we do the reading, it's one part dramatic reading, but it's also commentary.
Yes,
yes.
And
one of the other things is that I usually contact people through Facebook too. If you have a Facebook account, and we'd probably set you up, but otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard.
Well,
I usually contact.
You could probably send it to him via email. The link.
Well, I guess I could if his email is connected to his YouTube channel. I guess. Lason's Mighty Mascots are fun.
No, I don't believe they are with Alterna anymore.
Yeah.
And there's his email.
All right.
So you might want to copy and paste that somewhere in a notepad or whatever. That way you don't lose it. Although you can come back and look at the chat later.
I think it was Elk who was inquiring about commissions at one point, and I did email back. And I don't care if you're not interested. It would have just nice to have a not interested after seeing the samples.
Oh yeah, closure. I mean, everyone wants closure.
Yeah. Sometimes, well, more for jobs, it's like, okay, I applied for the job. You don't have to tell me I didn't get the job. You not calling me sort of tells me that.
Sometimes, but
you're not selecting me.
When it comes to the negotiations of freelance work, it's all about back and forth communication. I move on to other stuff because I'm always working.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just nice when a client's like, thanks for the quote, thanks for the portfolio. I'm not interested right now or at all. or just anything. So you're not hanging on it, I mean, even saying I can't justify spending the money at this time would have also been good.
Justify spending the money at this time, but I should have been more cautious. Well, Elk, I think what he's actually saying is that since he did take the time to email you, it would have been considered
Well,
courteous
that's why he
to
says
email
courteous.
him back that whatever the circumstance, just to get a response. It's just considered courteous.
He understands that.
I
The
think,
response clearly means he understands that.
Yeah, I'm not interested right now. When I have money, I will contact you back. If you're not too
Oh, I'm not holding my breath on the last part. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm still trying
knows?
to.
Maybe you'll become.
I'm still trying to copy.
Right.
I'm still. Rick, can you can you maybe message me on Facebook Elk's email at some point? Just send it to me in Facebook Messenger, and then I can get it from there. Because I was trying to see if I could copy it from here, but I can't apparently. So,
Yeah, because especially for you, when you click on it, you highlight it. You might be able to do it from the YouTube chat, but that might be that one Messenger. Just try going into Messenger on. Thing here.
So Metal, have you been? And I've been watching this series closely. The Shogun miniseries they have on Hulu.
No, I have not.
Oh, you should totally watch that. It's so good.
all right, looks like I got it, Rick. So I'll probably email him. Maybe I'll even think about inviting him into the
And I just
onto the panel here too, since he's been around a while now. So I guess I could think about doing that. Maybe not today.
Yeah, well, I just sent you on Facebook his email. I copied and pasted it.
See what I can do. Try to send him a test message later to make sure that I'm able to get to it. Oh yeah.
And Metal, I know you have your books on your own website and all that for sale, but you might want to contact RJ as well. He contacted me, and I'm actually going to be putting a Canadian Shield and Snowdrift out through in a collected edition.
Tim's already approached me about this. I'll leave it for consideration.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, I was just suggesting. It might be a way to get some passive income.
And I'm sure it would. I'm just honestly, everything is kind of a mess right now. I'm kind of doing my own thing, and when I smooth things out, then maybe I'll talk to him about it. But I'm trying to get through the mess at the moment.
I definitely understand that.
If it's not one thing, it's another, huh, Metal?
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely know that feeling.
What I've learned is doing the way I'm doing it now is no different than when I was crowdfunding. I just had more time to kind of build up readers and such instead of just 2 months at the max. So that's one thing I've learned from this whole experience so far.
Yeah, which is kind of what I've already been doing, right? Because I do webcomic primarily, but like all the printed stuff is print on demand. So like anybody can just go backwards and start at issue 1 anytime that they want.
Yeah. Although I'd have to say that crowdfunding where the true like it teaches you how to get do a pitch. It teaches you how to kind of promote your thing and how to promote your book and kind of
You're part of the marketing machine, right?
Yeah.
Because everything's a crowdfunding basically just forces you to do the book tour. That's all it is. It forces you to do the book tour. When you're not crowdfunding, you kind of have to like figure out how to do the book tour yourself and to force yourself to do it, because a lot of people won't. They're just like, I'm just gonna work on the book and put it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that's to me the true thing you learn is how to promote when you do a crowdfunding thing, and do it in like 2 months max.
Yeah, and then there's the other thing. Once you have, well, if you have your own website and all that, the thing is, you could continue to do the book tour, if you will. Find other places you go and promote your stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crowdfunding.
You don't need to do just stick with activity.
Yeah, crowdfunding also, because of the tier system, kind of teaches you kind of like put a little pizzazz in it. Like, oh, if you get this tier, you get the book, and then it comes with this and this, and then if you get this tier, it's all the alternate covers and such plus this. And then you can easily entice people with little things here and there.
Hello, Wayne. Promoting is key in everything, which is true.
Yep, it's true. Yeah. So I mean, I do recognize the advantages of crowdfunding. Now, some people do very well in it, so it would make no sense for them to go into a distribution kind of thing. They're already doing well with the crowdfunding thing.
Was it that you were just not,
Actually, they do well with it, but
the thing I wanted, the thing I was going to ask was, Tim, did you just feel you didn't have the success you wanted with the crowdfunding? That's why you decided to go.
I felt I still had to be on my grind more than other people, because other people would fund in hours or maybe even weeks, and I had to automatically do 2 months, and it would be a fight to even get to the goal within 2 months. I mean, every day, some people would just fund within hours, and I've been doing it for almost 3 years, and it's like there's no difference. I mean, like some people who set their goal at 500 and get like $1,000 or $3,000. So I'm like, okay, obviously I need more time than just 2 months to get even half of what they've made. The 2 months is not enough time for me.
Yeah.
Well, it does sound like the way
it's building up the audience.
It sounds like the way you're going about it is proving to be more successful for you.
Exactly.
In this case. Yeah. So.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
That's ultimately all that really matters when it all comes down to it, right? So what works best for you?
Wayne says, and no one's going to do it for you. You can form teams, etc., but it's an everyday deal. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying, like somebody how long did it take for Rex to fulfill Double Flyer, and he made like $3,000. I aimed for 500, and I got pretty much 600-700.
There's also like a trust thing too, right? Because there have been a lot of people burnt on some of these bigger campaigns, and the campaigns can be like the hype machine, but there's some campaigns that had never fulfilled, and they're kind of just gone now, and it hurts the smaller people, right? Because it makes people less likely to even jump into it aside from their friends. There's a lot of small people who actually never get backed, right? Like they put something out there, and it takes them till their like third or fourth time putting up a Kickstarter before they even actually get enough to finish it. While what you're doing now is you're technically fulfilled before they purchase, right? Like that's what that upfront, the book is done, people just order it and then they get it. My biggest thing with crowdfunding that turns me off eventually is like, I don't care if your first book is crowdfunded. I don't even care if your fifth book is crowdfunded. But there's like at a certain point where there's an expectation that this is building a business that for a small person, even by 10, you might be fine. But if you're a bigger person and you're on like book number 10 and you're still trying to crowdfund it and you are making profit off of it, not just an amount to flat back, there's an expectation you should have a business where you can just afford to do this without people investing anymore, because that's what crowdfunding is. It's an investment in your product, not a purchase.
Yeah.
Well, Elk just let me get through because Elk has got a few things he's wanting to say here. What is the crowdfunding sales circuit now? EBS used to rotate crowdfunding projects, but he was burned or been burned enough.
Yeah, he has burned or been burned.
Let's see. Eric July has his own thing going. What other shows are on the independent comic circuit? I know. Go ahead,
Well,
Rick.
I was going to say there's a few. Yeah, I don't think EBS still does a few people, of course. Like he's saying, Eric July does his own thing. Although technically, I consider what he does crowdfunding in a sense. I know there's several shows, and we try and find them are out there that will have you on. Rex, Christian is one, of course. There's the Metal. Well, Church of Failure. Usually will have people on. Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition. We usually have people on to draw their comic and your their character, and at the same time, you know, you go over a bit about your book, and maybe you get a few sales or fans, whatever. And I know there's quite a few other places out there. Well, Apex in the chat. He'll have people on.
I just did his show last night. It was kind of a impromptu thing. It was fun.
I know there's definite CG independent format of a $25 or $30 format, and then that seems to generate enough cash to make a profit.
Well, the attitude that I'm most sick of is the it's going to take as long as it's going to take, and it's basically in a roundabout way saying, "Hey, I'm going to take a long time to make this book and get it to you and deal with it." That's almost like spitting in the consumer's face, and I personally that kind of pisses me off. Really,
it almost sounds like a form of arrogance, right? Almost sounds like, well, I'm all that in a bag of chips, and you'll still buy my book because I'm all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, right? Here's one where I don't complain at all. Perfect example of people who crowdfunded their entire series, and it's a closed series that's done now. And that is Shabby and Pickles over at Vestry, right? Whole series crowdfunded from start to finish. It's done. And they were fast, right? Because Shabby is basically a workhorse when it comes to making comics. Like he just pumps them out. But not only were they fast, they were inexpensive. I think the most I spent on any of them was maybe like $8 before shipping, right? Which is crazy for a floppy when people are, for some reason, charging $20 for a floppy. I'm like, you're independent, so I expect it to cost more, but that's barely more than a Marvel comic off the shelf right now. And you get a ash can with it, too. So technically, you're getting more of a deal out of it.
So Elk saying, let me just get this real quick. I went gangbusters the first year I discovered EBS Independent Comic. I literally reviewed, and half the books had closed their campaigns without sending me a book. Part of that was I'm sure they refused to spend the cost of a shipping to Canada. So I've way dropped my purchase of non-digital books to nearly nothing. Yeah. Well, I know George is another one who does just more digital digital copies as well.
And the
George,
premium book that I'm working on right now is just going to be a flat purchase. There's going to be no need to crowdfund or anything. Me and the artist are splitting the revenue on it, and I might have a couple places, but primarily I'm just going to sell it through Global Comics because you can buy a PDF if you don't want to read it on the site. So, like, if you're interested in digital books and you just want to read something, I'm going to hopefully within the next quarter have a new series starting to run on Global Comics. That's pay.
I mean, I do think it's great when creators give constant updates of where they are and working on the book, but it's just that whole, like, it gets done when it gets done attitude that really kind of just sounds like excuses. Because quality.
with his, I won't say I went gangbusters because I really couldn't afford it for the first year that, or when they first started putting out. The big ones started putting out. Like I got, Cyberfrog, I got Lone Star, I got what's the name of it? Red Rooster. And I got a couple other small ones too. But because of the shipping costs, I've just like him, I've cut way down. I'll buy a PDF maybe if I can afford it. There's a couple people that I will buy a physical book off if I have the money.
Now I know metal. You have two shows. You cover the non-interactive entertainment on your Monday show, Super Serial Showtime, and then on the Game Junction, game show, whatever that thing is. Sorry, you cover the more interactive forms of entertainment. Were there any particular stories that caught your attention this week?
Huh?
I was just asking Meadow because I know he covers some of the news items on his shows as well. I just was asking him if there were any like news items that caught his attention this week. And I guess Metal may have stepped away, I guess.
Looks like, yeah, Red Rooster is a huge regret to me. The art was fantastic, perhaps the best of CG, but having him put it into the US Walmart like a year and a half before shipping the book was too much. Yeah, I agree for sure. I have it and I haven't even read it all the way through. I started reading it, but it interests me enough in the first few pages to stick with reading it. Hopefully, whenever I get my own plays, get my comics back, I will maybe do something with that. Maybe read it and actually do a review.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess Metal stepped away. I didn't even realize.
Oh, I'm back. I stepped away longer than I thought. I thought I was just going to go rinse off my plate, but when I got to the kitchen, it turns out that somebody had taken out the trash, but forgot to put a new trash bag in it, so I had to go and solve that problem.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen too. I know that. So what I was asking before, when you left, I know that you have your two shows. You have the one on Monday where you do the, as you call it, the non-interactive entertainment,
media.
and the interactive entertainment on Thursday. What I was asking is, were there any news stories this week that may have caught your attention that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. Because aside from the whole on the video game show, we spent like half an hour talking about the BAFTA most iconic video game character thing, which is not even that interesting to talk about anymore. But on the other show, we're mostly just catching up with the stuff that Marsupial and I were watching. Which we're probably tomorrow we're going to be talking a lot about Sandland because I just binged through all of what was available of Sandland. I didn't realize it had come out already, which is kind of the last adaptation of an Akira Toriyama work.
Oh yeah, I've seen some articles on that over the past couple months here. They've been pushing that one. That one looks pretty good.
I actually I like the story. I hate the way it looks.
And
it's because they're doing that whole it's the way the Dragon Ball video games look now, or also the way that Dragon Ball Superheroes movie looked. That kind of like 3D CG with the stroked outline and stuff, and it looks like his style, but it's like really stiff. I don't like the way it looks. I'd rather just have 2D animation.
Yeah. So, well, one of the big stories we covered this past week, and I don't know if you'd heard about it, was the whole situation with Ed Piskor. Did you hear about that?
No, I heard about it. For the most part, I've been intentionally avoid talking about it because it's a mess I really just don't want to be involved in. I mean, rest in peace. That's the best I can say about it.
Yeah. Well, we had a pretty lively discussion about the other day. That's but again, not that we're going to get back into it now. I wanted to obviously hear your thoughts on it if you had any that you wanted to share. But other than that,
I have a question. Maybe Mel can answer this. Why is it that like this is the third time I've been locked out of my Twitter account and I had to prove that I was a human being?
I don't know.
Why is that happening?
You just come off as a bot. Maybe you just have mad bot energy. Have you ever considered that?
I guess not. But I was like, why? This is the third time it's happened. Why is that doing that?
I don't know. I've never been locked out myself. I'd have to like really dig into not just their terms and service, but like their individual policies on stuff on why they do that. I could not answer it off the top of my head. I'm sure you're flagging something.
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter or X since December 2019, so I'm not even messing with it anymore.
Yeah, I have no clue either. Although I don't think I've ever been locked out of my account like that.
Oh, actually, here's something I can add, because since Mel, you weren't here last week because you were having dinner with your family. Here's something I can ask you, because I asked Tim and Rick when they were here, so I might as well ask you. Are there any Easter animated specials that you kind of remember or that you liked growing up?
I'm trying to remember the name of it, but the Peter Cottontail one that was like animated by Rankin Boss, right? Where it's got like the jelly beans and stuff. It's like, I've never had a jelly bean. Well, there's a first time for everything. Like that one always sticks in my mind. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones though. I think that's mostly just the one that sticks in my mind. But I really like those old Rankin Boss films. I thought all of them were pretty great.
Yeah. So anyway,
and I guess my account was marked because I was sharing links all day. So.
Oh, they may have marked you for spam.
Yeah, it says we have found that your account may contain spam or be engaging in types of platform manipulation. What the hell that means?
Rick, I know you were starting to read off Elk.
Yeah, Elk says, I think one way or another, the Ed Piskor is a turning point or road sign. Either comic internet changes or will continue forever. If this doesn't bring change, what will? Then he goes on. One time when I used Twitter, I got Reprimand banned for several days for terms of service violation. I posted my notice on an alternate account and that account was mass flagged, and I proved I was human. But Yeah, well, the thing, I don't think it's even comics internet that has to change. I think it's just the internet that has to change. Although that sort of type of behavior has to change. But unfortunately, it probably won't.
Are you talking about the cancel culture behavior, or are you talking about something else?
Yeah, probably more around the council culture, you know.
Well, I think it's just constantly talking about drama or the need to talk about drama instead of just talking about here's my book. It's a really good book. Buy it.
Yeah. Well, we did that quite a bit of that earlier too.
Yeah.
Remember, Jim?
I'm going to have to send you copies of Melvin so you actually know about the character.
Yeah.
I
Well.
might have to educate you.
Yeah. Well,
You can
because
send
I
me,
kind of
yeah.
in a moment of fogginess in my head, I thought the way he was telling me, I thought Melvin was a girl at one point, and
No.
no, he's a boy, the guy.
But I don't even mean, drama is sort of fine, although,
Is
it's
it?
not really something I want to have on my channel. Yeah. Well, it depends on how you're doing it,
Right.
Obviously, I don't want it on my channel. There's drama that you can have in, uh, you know, we have it in our, movies and stuff. So drama, we like drama in a sense, in our entertainment, but it's most people take it too far, probably, if not for
Yeah.
sure. But it's more than just comics. As I was saying, the cancel culture in a whole, canceling somebody
Well, I
enough
mean, it's not
over
just in comics though;
supposed
it's across
allegations.
the pop culture spectrum. It's
Yeah.
coming out of Hollywood. It's you see it in the television industry, the film industry, you know, all of it. So I
Not
mean,
regular novels. There's novels, TV, news, it's all
Oh,
over the
you
place.
think any of these other industries are cutthroat? Try being in the novel industry. There's some
Yeah.
authors that get along, but like every author hates each other.
Or most, anyways. But yeah, it's we just can't cancel people. I think you know I think people have a right to try and get a job, work, in whatever field, well, almost whatever field they want, depending on what they've done. Like you don't really want to hire a bank robber to take care of your money,
mhm, yeah.
or a thief. Maybe not a bank robber, but a thief. Somebody who steals. You don't really want to hire somebody like that to take care of your money.
Well, now that we've spent a good amount of time looking back at things and looking back, um, you guys want to talk about what you guys have planned for the week here? Anything major like metal? You got your two shows, and of course I'll have Rick most likely on tomorrow and Wednesday, and Tim will be on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday with me. But aside from that, are there anything else you guys are maybe looking forward to this week? To stuff going on or what have you? Anybody want to volunteer any information there?
Uh, probably my week is just more, well, the employment counselor that I have through work BC, if she doesn't contact me by probably Wednesday, I'm probably going to end up buying a plane ticket back to Ontario, and then for like Monday or Tuesday of the week after. So I might not be able to be on your show next Monday. I'm not
Okay.
even sure about Sunday at this point, but I got to figure out what's going on with me. I'm not even sure where I'm going once I get to Ontario yet.
All right. Well, keep me apprised of that so that I can
Yeah.
adjust. But I'll send you the link tomorrow, and then if you can't come tomorrow night, just let me
Oh
know.
yeah, I'm gonna be able. I'm gonna be able to come tomorrow night, and what this week.
You
It's the week after that I'm not sure about yet.
Okay.
you ever thought about hitting Dillard up on his offer?
What, going down to his place and working for him?
Yeah.
That
Well,
would be
I don't
complicated.
think.
He would need a work visa.
That's true. You'd have to get
Yeah,
one of those right away.
yeah, and I'm not sure whether Dillard's in a position to do that right now either, because
Especially
A, I
with
don't think
everything
he's
that's happened
totally.
recently.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's
Well,
a good
Yeah,
one.
well,
and two, I don't think he's concentrating a lot on those things at the moment. So those trailers.
well, yeah. Well, we do know that Elk thought that Metal was the one whose house flooded, but we had to remind him that it was actually Dillard's house who flooded.
Ah,
So, actually, though, guys, it is we're 1 hour and 36. So actually, we had a pretty good show, and we didn't even have to rely on an article. We just kind of went open mic, and of course, I did a kind of a impromptu comic promotion, campaign promotion stream for Tim there, and then we kind of had some good conversations there. We're at 1:30 hour 36 now, so it probably is a good time to maybe start winding down a bit. Unless there
yeah.
was anything more you guys wanted to talk about.
Nope.
All right,
Just
No, I'm good.
Metal.
No, no. I think I'm good. I can't really think of anything.
All right, so then what we will do, of course, then we'll go through, of course, this day in each history, and then and Elk, gets to your point earlier, even if you are on as a co-host, you still can, actually, it just means you have to open up another window on your computer in order to be on like the YouTube screen, YouTube as well. So that's the way you can do that. From what you were saying earlier about the idea of having one less person in the chat, you can still like have a secondary screen. So, anyways, 2005, 84. Let's see, 34 and 14. Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
today,
you don't have. Well, he might not be in the chat, but go ahead.
we'll keep that in mind. Oh, um. So with that being okay. Oh, Elk just said we'll keep that in mind. All right. So with that then, today being Sunday, April the 7th, 2024. Let's take a look back at this weekend in each history. History! So, first off, we're going to go back to yesterday. We're going to head back first off 40 years ago yesterday on yesterday's date 40 years ago. A very infamous incident that
I
happened.
was actually alive.
Yeah. An infamous incident that happened in the world of. So on this date, on yesterday's date rather, 40 years ago, back in 1984, Ken Patera and Mr. Saito are arrested in Waukesha, Wisconsin, on charges of vandalism. In parentheses here, for throwing a 30-pound boulder through a McDonald's window after being refused service after hours. In parentheses, and assaulting police officers and resisting arrest in a subsequent brawl with local police at the hotel where Patera and Saito are staying. Now, at the time, they were wrestling for the AWA at the time that happened, but that's been a part of the folklore for a while now, where they sat there and threw a 30-pound boulder through a McDonald's window because they were refused service. Something that did get quite a bit of notoriety at the time. So 40 years ago yesterday, that happened. Patera and Saito arrested for vandalism. So with that, getting ready to move on to the next piece of niche history. going back now to 2005 from yesterday. So 19 years ago yesterday. On yesterday's date, 19 years ago today, or 19 years ago yesterday, the 805th issue of Detective Comics went on sale. Of course, it's the same volume one, same one as started all the way back in 1939. On yesterday's date, 19 years ago, 805th issue of Detective Comics went on sale. The two stories that they were featuring were The Heating Up, written by, the book sold for $2.99, was 44 pages. The first story, the lead story, was The Heating Up, 22 pages, written by David Lapham, penciled by Ramona Fox, inked by Nathan A. Messengill, lettered by Jared K. Fletcher, colored by Jason Wright. So, and the second one was Mud, 8 pages, written by Chemo Temperance. Zach Howard did the art, lettering by Phil Bassman, and Thompson Knox did the coloring. So the 805th issue of Detective Comics went on sale on yesterday's date.
And it says, when you're not famous enough for after hours McDonald's fries, not famous enough to F it up.
All right. So with that, let's get ready to move on to the two items, the two history items from today. First off, heading back 90 years ago today, on this date back in 1934.
Well, I definitely wasn't alive then.
On this date 90 years ago, on this date back in 1934, Celebrity Productions, The Brave, this is a Comicolor cartoon. So on this date, 90 years ago today, Celebrity Productions, The Brave Tin Soldier, premiered in movie theaters on this date 90 years ago today. A musical rendition of the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, where a brave tin soldier with only one leg and a toy ballerina find happiness. So that
I never knew that was adapted. I love Anderson. He's such a great writer, but I didn't know there was an adaptation of that story.
Until today, when I looked this up,
Yeah.
I didn't either.
I was going to say, wasn't that
very interesting story?
I was going to say, wasn't that part of the Cracker? But I guess not.
No.
Well, okay, there was a tin soldier character in One Piece. Who was Kuro, so he turned into a toy by one of Doflamingo's men. But anyways, and last but not least, going back 10 years ago today, going back to 2014. On this date in 2014, the following anime premiered over in Japan. OLM's Dragon Collection, TMS Entertainment's Hero Bank, Oreka Battle, which was co-produced by OLM and Zebek, Brains Base 1 Week Friends, and Zexis is the comic artist and his assistants. So those 5 anime premiered on this date 10 years ago today. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed actually, before we take off here, and we'll go counterclockwise. We'll start with Rick. If you guys want to do an outro real quick, promote any of your projects, share any links. You know the shtick. We'll start with Rick. We'll go counterclockwise. So, Rick, you're up.
I'm just going to say for those here and might not know about my channel, just go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cross Comics. You can check it out. It's Cross Comics, and I think it's got like a cross. I'm not sure whether it's got the cross or the Canadian Shield's face for the thing at the moment. I grabbed the link, but it might make me robot.
All right. So, did you want to
So
share the
on to
link,
metal, I guess.
or shall we move on?
Yeah, just go into metal.
All right, Metal, you're up. You want to do your outro?
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be live at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time over on the Vomitorium Live for Super Serial Showtime, where I'm not quite sure the other topics we'll be talking about yet, but we will definitely be talking about Sandland since I just binged through the whole thing. Or what's available. There's more to come. Maybe we'll talk about comics. I don't know. It depends whatever stories I end up finding that fit in that topic by then. That's just the only thing I know ahead of time we're talking about. And if you're bored and you like either web novels or comics that pertain to some of the type of things that we typically talk about here, you can go to xdynamuschaos.com, find my stuff. If you're not a fan of how I have things there, I've got links to other sites that I host it to. You might like the readers there more. All on the sidebar, so. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Tim, you're up.
All right. Look for Melvin 1 and 2 on Walmart, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble websites. And if you show me that proof of purchase plus a mailing address, I will send you Xenoducius #1 absolutely free.
All right. So with that being said, so we'll be back here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific. Here on the Mikestand, where we'll be going over the latest in Neat's news. Rick will be joining me, of course, and then of course this Friday, Tim will be back here, for the third time this week. Fourth time, I guess, if we count today as well. So you'll be getting quite a bit of Tim this week, everybody.
Yep. And you'll hear more and more about Melvin #1 and #2 special editions on Walmart, Amazon.
And this Friday, of course, we'll be going over books that went on sale in February of 1940 from Centaur and David McKay. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.